What's up, gang? Kawaii50 here with another FGO video covering the final servant from Yuga Kshetra, the 3-star archer William Tell. Let's be real, gang. This man is basically Big Boss. So, let's go ahead and cue the meme music. Don't forget to like and subscribe. While you enjoy this remixed meme music, let's go ahead and take a look at William Tell's stats. He's got a quick Arts Buster deck and a single target Arts type Noble Phantasm. His max HP of 9,380 is solid, as is his attack of 7,384. His NP per hit is also pretty solid at a 0.66%, and 3 hits on his arts cards and 3 hits on his quick card means he's going to have a decent time gaining Noble Phantasm gauge. His star absorption is as expected for an archer. It is very high, and this man just screams Arts Crit Servant. William Tell's first skill is Yuri's Hunter rank B. This gives one enemy skill seal at a 50 to 100% chance, and it also generates 10 to 30 critical stars once. Think of it as a high-powered instinct. I would recommend maxing this skill last, mainly because William Tell's other 2 skills are so very strong. The instinct stars are nice, and it's good to get stars on demand, but there are better ways to get stars on demand. William Tell's second skill is his main source of damage, and therefore his most important skill. Unwavering Perseverance rank C grants him 20 to 30% arts card effectiveness increase for 3 turns, and also gives him 3 turns of debuff immunity, which is absolute gravy. You won't be getting any attack or crit down buffs on William Tell when you are trying to pump up this damage. For both of these reasons, definitely max this first. And William Tell's final skill is Aiming rank EX. This increases his critical star gather rate by 600 to 1000% and also grants him a 50 to 100% critical strength bonus, probably giving you plenty of Billy the Kid flashbacks. I recommend you max this skill second, just mainly to reduce the cooldown on it and overcharge that critical damage. Critical damage is going to be William Tell's main source of damage unless your enemy ends up having an evade. Then that's going to shift over to his Noble Phantasm. More often than not, though, you're going to be using those crits. Speaking of William Tell's Noble Phantasm, it is Apfelscheiben rank C. This deals between 900 to 1500% damage to a single enemy and gives William Tell sure hit for the turn, activating before damage is dealt. The big gimmick from this Noble Phantasm is that it deals extra damage to any enemies on the field that have evade. Any specific enemy, that is. And that can be 200 to 250% damage. So William Tell can really put up some huge numbers if you're entering a challenge quest where you know the enemy is going to be evading every single turn. If you can get him to NP level 5, that damage is going to be an absolute absurdity. I'm sure it was easy for you all to guess, but William Tell fits very comfy in an arts type team, so you want your arts supporters on the field. Artoria Caster if you're hanging out on JP, Tamamo no Mai if you're on NA, and other servants like say Lanling Wang work as well. However, there are some other servants that can provide William Tell with bonuses beyond just an arts card effectiveness boost, and I've selected what I believe are 5 of the best. Let's, as always, start with a freebie option in the form of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Mozart has been a premier, very cheap art supporter, but that doesn't mean he's not very good. Eine kleine Nachtmusik rank EX grants 20 to 50 critical stars on demand, so at rank 10 that is a guaranteed crit for every servant on the field, something William Tell will definitely want to take advantage of. And Protection of the Muse Fake rank EX also grants 22 to 44% arts card effectiveness for all allies for 1 turn, so on that turn you really need the extra damage, Mozart can provide. In addition to being an arts card servant, William Tell is also one of Brynhilda's beloved, so he can take advantage of her Summertime Lovers rank EX skill. Normally, this only affects Brynhilda, granting her a 20 to 30% boost to her arts and buster card effectiveness. But since William Tell is beloved, this skill will also end up affecting him, granting him that same boost in addition to Brynhilda. I understand it can be pretty weird having a Berserker on the field as a supporter, but even if you just have her use this ability and then quickly swap her out, it can provide a nice 3-turn boost to William Tell, stacking well with his second ability. Of course, if we're focusing on Art's crit, let's not forget about Chiron and his famous golden catches the carp, use all my abilities, and then sub out. Chiron grants William Tell a critical strength boost, some critical stars, and a boost to all of his card types. This very, very quick buff is the main reason Chiron is so beloved by the community at large. Man really puts in work. I am going to pedal back to the freebies real quick to continue to preach the gospel of Nightingale Santa. Nightingale Santa is an archer, so odds are whoever William Tell's fighting is going to be hurt by Nightingale as well. She has a slew of bonuses that William Tell is going to absolutely adore. We are talking an attack bonus, we are talking a critical damage bonus, an NP strength boost, and a form of guts and HP recovery. Those two are especially awesome for William Tell since he doesn't really have any way to avoid damage outside of his seal ability attached to his first skill, and we all know that's not nearly as good as, say, an evade, an invincibility, or a guts, so having an avenue for him to get that is going to be very helpful. And finally, a lot of art servants on JP now after his buff, and NA eventually when he does get his buff, really enjoy having Sherlock Holmes on the team. Or if you're a great Ace Attorney fan, you might know him as Herlock Sholmes. Way to dodge a bullet, by the way. So the main reason Sherlock is so powerful is because of the buff to his gift of insight ability. This still grants critical stars, but also will decrease the art's resistance of all enemies by 10 to 20%. Stacking this on top of the debuffs he is able to give to the enemies with Elementary My Dear's massive defense reduction, you are going to be seeing William Tell getting some big numbers from just having Sherlock on the team. For the main boosts on William Tell's craft essence, it really depends on the situation you're using him in. I would say more often than not, players are just going to be using him in a general situation, so critical strength would be the most important stat in that case. However, if you are fighting a fight where you know the enemy is going to be using evade and you can take advantage of that bonus damage, then critical damage gets swapped out for NP strength instead. Arts card effectiveness is universally useful across any craft essence, and NP gain is, as always on Art Servants, a good boost too. Let's start with freebie options, and my first recommendation is Painting Summer. Painting Summer grants an Arts card effectiveness and NP gain boost, and also allows William Tell to begin the battle with 50% Noble Phantasm gauge. Royal Icing is a great pick for him if you are taking advantage of his bonus damage to evade. This grants Arts card effectiveness and NP strength, so William Tell is going to be putting up the powerful shots if you are throwing this on him and taking advantage of that bonus damage. Another ending still remains a strong contender in the Arts crit world, granting that base Arts card effectiveness and even stronger critical strength boost, with not really much more I can say about it. But if I had to pick the best craft essence for William Tell, in my personal opinion, one that's on NA right now, that would be New Beginnings. New Beginnings grants Arts card effectiveness and critical strength, allowing William Tell to do generally very strong critical damage. This also gives him that starting NP steroid that exists on Painting Summer as well, so you'll be able to use his Noble Phantasm very quickly, and hopefully with a follow-up Arts crit chain, refund it to do it again. For William Tell's command codes, I would overwhelmingly recommend Critical Strength as well as Critical Star Gather. Critical Star Gather mainly going on his arts cards. NP damage is of course fine if you know you are going to be using him in those fights where the enemy has an evade, but if you're not really going to put in the work to study those fights beforehand and make sure you know what you're dealing with, odds are that won't be useful to you most of the time. So keep that in mind. It's an option, but you really need to be looking forward in order to truly take advantage of it. For the vast majority of players, odds are you won't do this, you'll just be going into fights and using William Tell to have fun. So in order to sort of help perpetuate that mindset, let's look at command codes like Armament of Triumph, increasing critical star absorption by 100% on an engraved card, and also the wonderful Immature Illusionary Command Seal, increasing the critical star absorption of arts cards specifically. This will ensure that your stars flow to those arts cards, so William Tell can get a good refund on his Noble Phantasm, which will increase his overall damage. For your other cards, you can of course give, say, his 2 Buster cards, things like Command Seal of a Cardinal-Minded Retainer, increasing the critical damage of that card by 15%. For his Quick card, you can also give that a critical damage boost, but you might instead be looking to just increase critical star generation, so you can just go ahead and get a maximum refund on those stars. Code Glitter would be just fine for this. You don't really need to worry about much more than that. Overall, gang, William Tell is a very serviceable single-target archer that a lot of budget players are going to fall in love with. He does unfortunately have some drawbacks. The main damage booster on his Noble Phantasm is very, very niche, and players will not find a lot of opportunities to take advantage of it. However, he also has some very powerful strengths. His arts card focus means he is going to be able to refund his NP off of crits, especially thanks to his naturally high star weight. So expect to see NP refunds and big crit damage, with our suggestions helping you take advantage of that. But where there's damage, there are, of course, drawbacks, and William Tell players are going to want to give William Tell supporters that are going to be able to help his overall survivability, which is sorely lacking. You need to give him somebody to give him an invincibility, an evade, some sort of heal, some sort of guts. He will need that, or he will just get worn down on the field very, very quickly. But if you are able to protect your sniper, like you should be doing in pretty much any game, protecting that ranged attacker, you're going to find that this ranged attacker is gonna put in the work. But of course, I want to know what you all think, so let me know your thoughts on William Tell down in the comment section below. Do you think he is worthy of being the second coming of Big Boss, or do you really feel like his kit needed a little bit more for him to really get there? Let me know any allies, craft essences, or command codes you want to use on him, and if you want to talk more FGO beyond that, well, my Discord server is always open. I've always got to give a big thanks to the patrons on Patreon and the subscribers on Twitch who really came out in force last night, who provide me with that support that really means a lot. Speaking of the Twitch, maybe you should go ahead and follow it, because we're playing a lot of fun games on there, and the chat has just been having a blast. Love you guys. Anyways, this is Kawaii50, hoping you all have a phenomenal day, and I'll see you all in the next video.